application to be decided upon to determine the efficacy of said re-immunization. Do you understand these procedures? Yes. The lock was small, but unlike the rest of what she had seen so far of Estrada, blessedly uncluttered. Further, I remind you that although FN-17 is a development of the Durallium Company, the company in no way holds itself responsible for any adverse effects that may result from its use. Nor, though you are to be offered the utmost cooperation aboard Estrada and on Grenstom's planet, are you to be considered an employee of said company liable to the financial restitution available to indentured personnel. Is this clear? Yes. She closed her neck seal, hefted her helmet. That's everything? Yes. Will you help me with this? She should have put the helmet on first. The gauntlets made her clumsy. When the helmet and shoulder ring clicked together, the suit air hissed on. It tasted hard and flat, not like the warm, rebreathed air of the orbital station. She tongued on the broadcast communications. Can you hear me? I hear you. Hyam checked a workstation screen. You're reading well enough. She looked up. You? Loud and clear. Through the audio pickups, Hyam sounded even more remote and doctor-like. And then the only sound was Marg's own breathing and the faint hiss of the forced air. Blue and purple readouts flickered in the lower left of her vision. Everything worked perfectly. There was nothing else to wait for. Marghe stepped over the sill. Her boots clumped and echoed in the bare chamber, and her breath sounded loud. She touched the amber light on the control panel. The door slid shut. Hyam, arms folded, was visible through the small observation window. Marghe studied the variety of lights, then tapped out a command sequence. A display flared red. Vacuum. Her helmet pickups were full of a hard hissing, and readouts flickered, then steadied, showing 0 pressure, 0 oxygen. When she moved, she felt vibration through her boots, but heard nothing. The wall display changed. Airlock systems routed to Estrada main control prior to decontamination procedures. To proceed, input sequence. Another last-minute reminder. Once she started on this, there was no turning back. Marghe tapped out the memorized sequence. Raise arms, raise chin, stand with feet apart. Marghe did. Blank visor for 15 seconds. Commencing. Even through her darkened visor and closed eyes, she sensed the flare as the chamber was flooded with radiation. Exterior decontamination complete. Lock governance returned to interior control. Marghe cleared her visor, opened her eyes, blinked away the dancing green spots. Hyam was still in the window, watching. Then suddenly, she was gone. Marghe watched the blank window for a moment, then took a deep breath and turned to the second door, the second panel with its red light. She reached out to input the sequence that would open it, that would enable her to take that last step over the sill that marked the boundary between what was understood and controlled and what was dangerous. Marghe, wait. Marghe whirled, forgetting the 2/3 gravity. Hyam was back at the observation window, headset at one ear. Marghe had to breathe slowly, in and out, before she could speak. What? Turn on your suit comm. Marghe tongued the channel on. What's wrong? What have... Nothing. Over the closed channel, Hyam's voice was quiet, intimate. No longer the doctor. This is off the record. I don't... Just listen. All those things I said before about isolation, about spending time somewhere unspecified before going home. That's not what really happens. Marghe listened to her heart kicking under her ribs. She breathed, seeking calm. Never refuse information, her mother had taught her when she was just 6 years old. You never know what you might need. But her mother was dead. She managed a go-on gesture. If you leave the airlock, if you take the vaccine, you'll never go home. Not ever. I had a good friend on the planet. Was one of the initial batch taken off Jeep for study. She promised to be in touch. I think someone else wrote her mail. How could you tell? It felt all wrong. If she'd been ill... No, just listen. It seemed fine at first. I assumed she just wasn't feeling good. Decons.